We have journeyed for the last 75 years. Constitution success and failures, I think most of us know. Let me tell you one thing about Indian democracy. No matter what nonsense happens in this country, we still survive. We still survive. I'll give you a simple example. Wherever I go, someone asks me about what is the status of Indian constitution. I tell them, look around your neighboring countries. See Nepal, see Bangladesh, see Sri Lanka, see Pakistan, see Tibet. This was the predictions and prophecies that were made by the British when they were giving us independence in 1947. They predicted that India will be ruled by dictators and India will see a fascist regime. India will not have democracy and army will take over. All these examples that I just gave, please see Pakistan. You have a military dictatorial rule happening over there. If you see Sri Lanka, the latest thing, economically it's collapsed. Bangladesh has to go a long way to work up to remove the tag of underdeveloped country to become a developed country. If you take Tibet, it's a suzerain state which has no control but under the control of the Chinese. But India, look at it where we are standing today. From what we were in 1947, if you see the journey of the Indian, let's speak from a judicial perspective because all of us are lawyers. From Keshavananda Bharati, the basic structure doctrine principle, to a political reformation to committing to land reforms, to where we stand talking about same-sex marriage, I think there's a sea change. You have to introspect rightly. You have to think that yes, where are we going? Do we speak about impoverishment today? Do we speak about green revolution today? Do we speak about social regime today, despite our constitution is a socialist, secular, democratic republic? Do we speak about all these things? Which forum, which platform actually focuses on this? I also want to ask all this question to all the advocates, except for organizations which as AILU keep doing whatever this has been doing. We really need to ask ourselves, I tell you, why is it important that today civil liberties become unimportant? I'll tell you, I always give this example of how cinema reflects our lives. Telugulo Manishi Tirgarasa cinema. Manishi cinema. So if you look at cinema in the 1947, you will see Raj Kapoor playing a role of a street beggar or playing a joker's role, and there is stone clothes impoverishment. That is the 1950s. Or you will see another where there will be some focus on Raitu Rajyam or some communist movie done by Narayan Murthy. These are things that went on till the 80s. 80s, what did you witness? You witnessed love stories or a little violence movies. And those violent movies continued. Please bear this in mind, what is happening. Political, socio-political, economic development has an impact on what you perceive. Now you come to the 90s. 90s you witnessed our gates open to international trade, economic prosperity, employment opportunities, access to food. Once you have employment, your food, your stomach is full. Now what do you see? This generation, this nation as you see, is passing through neither its core orthodox principles or adopting the Western views. We are muddling in between somewhere. When this muddling is happening, what do we witness? I'll tell you always a simple example. In fact, when I was invited here, I was prepared to talk about criminal law subject, which is a basic requirement for all advocates. So I'll tell you three important subjects that are always very important. Family law, criminal law, civil law. These are the most basic subjects. Leave the constitution. Constitution has its own job to do. These are the things that actually feed the advocates, not just feed in terms of economy, getting some revenue, but it also helps the citizen to resolve all their issues. Unless the citizen has a peace of mind, he cannot focus on other things. These fundamental laws become so damn important. I'll give an example again. There is one incident. How many of you actually saw this movie called Jolly LLB? That's how they project our advocates. We don't have respect. When you walk into a police station, then a cop won't even offer you a chair. That is our dignity. Advocate ante yadava ketu. This is how they speak. I'm not joking. This is serious. We have no respect. And all of we are practicing for so long, skill set, so much important. I'll tell you this simple example. Those who have seen Jolly LLB movie, the judge at the last minute of the last movie, he brings in a witness rushing into the court. It's a trial court scenario where a murder prosecution is happening, and suddenly the hero brings in a witness coming into the court. And there's an objection raised by the prosecution or the defense counsel, saying that how can you bring in this witness? Now I'll ask the same question. The judge says, I can do so. All those practicing on the criminal side here, can you tell me when, how and what provision can the judge do it so? I'm asking a skill set based question. AILU's contribution from 1986, 37 long years. You have built an extraordinary union. And in that entire scheme of things, you built a huge tree, it grew a long way. And each leaf of contribution has been spreading to everybody. But what have you achieved? I'm asking a very fundamental principle of criminal law. I have not even asked any question, where does the power come for the judge? Where do we get it, friends? I'm asking you, each one would have put in 3 decades of practice or 2 decades of practice or 10 years of practice. But a question that has to come to you is, where do I get this power? Now, this is where it is very important for lawyers, not just forming associations. As my predecessor speaker rightly spoke, it's also about building a skill set. You need to build a skill set. I have not joined a senior when I left Nalsar. I'm a visiting faculty there and I continue to practice all by myself. I practice like a regular, Ekalavya in Mahabharata, I saw how a senior is shooting an arrow, I need to learn that. Why is that I do not have this? Why should I not read it? Because I cannot have a better expression in the court of law. And I'm speaking in English, though I'm proficient in Telugu, I'm speaking English purposefully. You have to uplift your standard. If you don't uplift your standard, we will remain there only. We cannot save judiciary or the constitution. We will be here, we will have events, we will do registration of membership, our numbers will grow. And we will speak like a common citizen. If you're talking about Advocates Protection Act, we need a special, some sort of an immunity, then you have to claim it rightly. You really want to claim it, then your skill set has to be extraordinary. This is not a handful of certain extraordinary advocates who can run the show. Tell me one thing, trial court nuances of the practice, which forms the most important thing for every citizen, leave others high court jurisdiction, practice. How many of us are actually skilled? I'm asking a question to all of you. All of you, I'm asking you, are you really capable to handle a case in its fullest like an expert? The question that always comes to us, can we really draft a proper petition? Do we depend on clerks so much? Are you really capable to substantiate your case so very well in the court and project to them, we do not have to be treated like this, because half the time we are mocked at by the judges. Let us be honest about all these things. If you don't talk honestly, I don't think our objective will never be achieved. Objective to achieve an extraordinary judiciary comes from only a skilled lawyer, not an unskilled lawyer. No matter how many associations, unions you form, whatever contributions are coming, that is very small compared to the task that is left. Honorable predecessor speaker just now said, sir, I really appreciate your speech. What do we need? What do we really need is what you need to introspect. That is not coming out. Sir, I appeal to the honorable members here. I think we should focus more on building skill set, rather than getting somebody who's actually trying to achieve. Because sir, your jurisprudence that you just said, or your own subscription of the journal that you're talking about, why are we lacking? We don't have anybody to contribute. And why is that so? That is because we don't have the ability to write an article. How many of you know it's a mandate in Europe and America that an advocate would have to spend some of his time attending conferences such as this, write articles, make sure that he's adept with latest developments in field of law. Do you know that